All right, let me make sure I can see myself on YouTube here. There is an ad. All right, I had the two screens going at once. So, yeah, here we are. So, CJ Mike, I see you're still up. I'm actually in the Mountain Time Zone right now. So it is 1 o'clock on the East Coast. It's a little bit after 11 o'clock here in the Mountain Time Zone. Okay, I don't know how long I'm going to go, everyone. It's late, and my emotions are spent from what happened. And yeah, so let me reposition this. All right, that's a little better. All right, you guys let me know what you think there in the chat. I wrote my notes down. I don't know that I'm going to get through all these notes. I have some basic points. I have some basic points here. I'm going to play the intro, and then I'll jump in, and then I will wrap this up. Please smash that like button if you haven't, and no matter how long you're here, please smash that like button. I'm going to play the intro, and then I'm going to jump in. All right, everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Dr. Anwar Youssef Dunbar, and this is Big Discussions 76 Sports. Shout out to Bo Lytle. Respect is earned. Please like, share, and subscribe if you see fit. Please smash that like button. Please like, share, and subscribe, so on, et cetera, et cetera. So I just got done watching Johnny Olden's post-game commentary. So I don't know. I don't know what else I can say about this. The Michigan Wolverines just defeated, well, a couple of hours ago, they just defeated the Alabama Crimson Tide 27-20, winning the Rose Bowl and getting Coach Harbaugh his first national semifinal win and his first berth in the national final game. So Michigan is one game away from being the national champion. Who'd have thought that? So, yeah, I'm not going to read over all these notes. It was a scary game. I think the talk going into the game was whether or not Michigan could play with an SEC opponent. And would Michigan be overpowered? Would Michigan be out physicaled? Would Alabama be too fast? Would Alabama be too rough and tough and skilled and better coached than Michigan? So when I saw the game, when I logged on, when I got my seat and got comfortable, I was just looking to see if we would be able to compete, because I'd heard so much trash talk. I'd heard so much trash talk from Alabama fans over the last month. After a while, that starts to get in your head, and you start to say, you know what? Maybe our team isn't good enough. Maybe our team is scared. Maybe our team is scared of Alabama. And I think that when the game started, that's one of the things that I saw immediately, was that our team was not scared of Alabama, and that our team did legitimately show up to compete, and they were not afraid of Alabama. So yeah, so here on this channel, we looked at the statistics. Johnny Olden came on and he gave some predictions in terms of schemes and formations and strategies and what we would see. And I think a lot of that played out. Um, I think Michigan shot itself in the foot quite a bit today. Were People over on Twitter were really freaking out. I was freaking out watching some of what was going on myself. But people over on Twitter X, they were freaking out, especially Steve Dace. Steve Dace from the Michigan podcast, he was really, really melting down over what was happening on the field. So I think that there were a lot of self-inflicted wounds. I'm thinking about the first one was the Samaj Morgan fumbled punt that put Alabama in position for that first Jace McClellan score. So without that, if Samaj Morgan had fielded that punt, Michigan would have had another reception, and Alabama wouldn't have gotten the ball that close to their end zone. So I thought that was huge. But even after Alabama scored that first time, Michigan came back, put together a nice drive, and got on the board themselves with a touchdown. Michigan held them, got the ball back, and then they were moving the ball. And then Max Bredesen got that penalty where he pancaked the Bama defender on the ground. That pretty much killed the momentum on that drive. And then there were just so many plays like that. There were plays like that. There was the holder for the extra point. There was that debacle. So we that made the score 13 instead of 14. 13-7 instead of 14-7. What else was there? There was the there were just so many. There was James Turner missed his field goal. There were at the end of the game, Thaw he fumbled the punt and fielded the ball right there at the 1 yard line. And there were just so many things like that today that I can't list them all off. There, late in the game, Blake Corum caught the ball. JJ hit him in the flat, and then Roman Wilson pushed the Alabama defender. He blocked him in the back. That negated that Blake Corum touchdown. But despite it all, through it all, the team made enough plays, and the team and the coaching staff did not give up, even though many of us watching the game probably did. I mean, there was a point at which I was getting text messages from people saying, "Oh, Michigan can't do it. Michigan, well, it was a good year, but you know, you guys can't get over the hump." I was getting text messages during the game about that, and I think that I had gotten to a point where I pretty much kind of said, "You know what? Whatever. This is it." But the players and the coaches, they found a way to keep fighting and to stick in there. And also, I want to say hats off to the defense. I think when I went over the statistics, and Johnny pointed this out in his video, I just watched it just now. I think we both observed that a good defensive line and a good front seven could get good pressure on Jalen Milroe. And Michigan came out, and I think they sacked him 6 times in this game. So I don't think any of us expected that, but they were able to, at least in the first half, consistently get pressure on Jalen Milroe. Now, in that second half, I thought that Bama made an adjustment. They made an adjustment, and they found something there. Alabama found something. They realized that if they would run the ball with Jalen Milroe and also with Jace McClellan, uh, they could move the ball, and they were actually starting to move the ball um, on the ground. And I guess whenever a team has an aggressive pass rush against your offense, one of the ways you can negate that pass rush is to run the ball. And Bama started doing that in the second half. They were missed throws by JJ. You know what? It's not just the missed throws, but the Bama defensive linemen. I'm going to give the Bama defensive lineman credit because even when they couldn't get to JJ, they were sticking their hands up and they were deflecting a lot of his balls. So there were some balls that JJ was really trying to rocket in there. There was a key miss on a slant to Samaj Morgan. That ball went right through his hand. So Samaj Morgan could have caught that ball. But also, I'm going to give credit to the Bama defense for getting their hands up and batting a lot of JJ's passes down. So salute to the Bama defense for doing that. What else? Yeah, I mean, our defense played the entire game. Our our pass rushers, they got good pressure on Jalen Milroe for most of the game. Now he's an elite athlete, so he was able to get out and run for some first downs. In that first half, Rod Moore made a really good play. Jalen Milroe threw a pass, I think, to Bond, and Rod Moore broke that up. He did a really good job breaking that pass up. Will Johnson defended what would have been another big completion from them. And yeah, there were just so many plays like that during this game. And I thought that, when Jalen Milroe, when he fumbled the ball, he scrambled and he fumbled the ball late in the second half. I thought that that was an opportunity for us to seize the game. I don't think we did it right there. And I thought that late in the game when we got pinned on the 1 yard line, you kind of figure, okay, that's it. That's it. And we're not going to come back from this. We're not going to come back from a James Turner missed field goal. But Michigan got the ball late in that fourth quarter, and they were able to drive the ball down the field for that Roman Wilson touchdown. That was that was a gutsy drive there. And as a matter of fact, that completion that JJ made to Roman Wilson, setting up the touchdown, that was tipped. So an Alabama defensive lineman actually tipped that ball, and then Roman made a really gutsy catch there, and he scampered up the sidelines there, and then they scored the game time. He scored the game time touchdown. Now, when we went to overtime, I was surprised that we had gotten to overtime, and I was thinking it was going to be just who was going to blink first. It was going to be a bit of a road of attrition, but they went back to Blake. Blake willed the team to that overtime score, and then Bama had to match. And Bama, as good as Jalen Milroe was in spurts, their offense self-destructed in certain ways throughout the game, such as giving up all those sacks, such as those early snaps, to Jalen Milroe, which drove them further and further and further back. That hurt their momentum. I think there was a false start or two in there for Alabama. And so, yeah, their offense, while it had elite athletes, their offense wasn't elite. And I think that in a game of this magnitude, if your offense isn't elite, then it's going to get exposed in certain ways. Those cracks and those fissures are going to show in certain ways. And I think that was the case with their offense as well. So Michigan shot themselves in the foot. Bama shot themselves in the foot numerous times. And it just came down to experience and yeah, which team wanted it more and which team had the experience and which team yeah was just in position to win the game at the end. And when on that final fourth down play, I couldn't believe what was going on. I couldn't believe that we were there and that we actually won that game because there were so many ways that we had kept Alabama in the game, and there were so many ways that um, yeah, it just could have gone the other way. So I'm going to read some of your comments here. I might do another stream tomorrow or maybe the day after that. I'm not going to go over all of these notes right now. I mean, there are so many things to pick apart and there are so many things to scrutinize, but at the end of the day, we've got the win, and the Wolverines will be playing for the national title next Monday. Let's see. Yeah, in his video, Johnny mentioned the Alex Orgy, them putting in Alex Orgy on that third down play. I didn't think they needed to do that either. I'm also thinking about the flea flicker. I thought offensively they tried to get a little too cute sometimes. I think they ran a that I don't think it was the transcontinental, the Lloyd Card transcontinental, but the play where Donovan threw the lateral to JJ. Donovan almost got JJ hurt there because that ball hung up there too long. And JJ made a great play. He caught the ball and he lofted it out to Roman. Roman caught it, and they were able to get the first down. But that was a play that could have gone completely in the other direction. So there were just so many plays like that tonight. But Michigan somehow hung on and got the win. I'm going to read some of your comments here, and I'll take a quick look at the statistics. Then I'll wrap this up because it's late. CJ Mike says, "Go blue." He says it's 12 midnight here in Texas. Splashy U of M says Michigan beats Washington 34-14. Let's go blue. Yeah, so I watched most of the Washington Texas game, and we're going to have to get pressure on Michael Penix Jr. And the thing is, Michael Penix Jr., he's not going to hold the ball like Jalen Milroe. Michael Penix Jr. is going to get the ball out quickly. So they're either going to have to get there quickly and hurry him, or Jesse Minter is going to have to come up with something else because Michael Penix against Texas, yeah, he was carving up their defense and he was getting the ball out before the pass rush could get there. So I think we are a better team than Washington, but Jesse's going to have to come up with something to slow down Michael Penix Jr. because he looked razor sharp tonight. Let's see. CJ Mike says that defensive line played like madmen. Yeah, I couldn't believe in that first half the way they were sacking Jalen Milroe the way that they were. I was happy to see it. And our pregame analysis bore that out, that if you opposing defenses could get good pressure on Jalen Milroe. And we saw that tonight. Let's see. Splashy U of M says RD is way better than Texas's. Yeah, and I guess what we saw today is that defense, assuming they go ahead and win on Monday, defense wins championships. Your offense could have a mediocre outing. Your offense could struggle. Your offense could shoot itself in the foot. Your special teams could shoot itself in the foot. But if your defense plays, and if your defense consistently slows down the other team, you can still win the game. All right. Raheem Gaines, we have a Buckeye here. He says, congrats to the team up north. It was a roller coaster game. Alabama's offensive line wasn't stout at all. No, they weren't. Not against our stunts. Splash U of M says, I legit think we can beat Washington by double digits. Getting pressure on Penix, that would be the key to doing that. Raheem Gaines says the special teams was a nightmare. Yeah, that first Samaj Morgan fumble, that really hurt us because that put Alabama in position to score their first touchdown. I think for the entire game, we should have been making them drive the length of the field, and giving them those short fields really helped them out. Okay, so I'm going to go over some of the statistics very briefly. I'm not going to do it the screen share because I'm doing this off my phone tonight, but I'm just going to go over some of the stats really, really quickly here. CJ Mike says, we should have had Roman running the drag routes. Morris did score on one, but like Johnny Olden said, Morgan was getting too many targets as a freshman. I agree. And Cornelius Johnson made a clutch play going out of bounds and dragging his toes. So yeah, we should have been looking more at our veteran wideouts as opposed to Samaj. Samaj was he was very shaky today. He was very shaky. All right, I'm going to go over some numbers really quickly, and then I'll wrap the stream up. So the final score was 27-20. Jalen Milroe went 16 for 23 for 116 yards. JJ went 17 for 27 for 221 yards and 3 touchdowns. And again, Alabama was knocking a lot of his balls down. So I think there were stretches where he was pressing quite a bit. And he was really rocketing the ball in there to some of the guys. But Bama was getting good pressure on him, and they were knocking the ball down, even though they weren't sacking him. Please smash that like button if you haven't. Also, please consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't. And Bama fans, I hope you stay subscribed to the channel, even though this is over. On my community wall, yeah, I posted, Bama fan, you have some splaining to do, because there was just so much trash talk going into this game. There was so much trash talk, so much, we're Alabama, we're going to beat you, we're SEC team, we're going to beat you. And if they had won, there would have been so much, yeah, we told you so. Yeah, we told you so. We told you we were going to beat you. So it feels good that Michigan got this victory. All right. Jace McClellan carried the ball 14 times for 87 yards and 2 touchdowns. One of those was set up by the Samaj Morgan fumbled punt. Blake Corum carried the ball 19 times for 83 yards and 1 touchdown. That touchdown in the overtime period was huge. He also had a big reception out of the backfield on Michigan's first scoring drive. Isaiah Bond caught 4 balls for 47 yards. Roman Wilson caught 4 balls for 73 yards and 1 touchdown. That touchdown was huge. That was the game-tying touchdown that sent the game into overtime. Let me see. Please smash that like button if you haven't. The likes are free and they help the channel out. Also, thank you to Mackenzie Kendall Mayweather for the generous Cash App. Let's see. How many? Yeah, so Roman Wilson caught 4 balls for 73 yards and 1 touchdown. Tyler Morris caught 2 balls for 45 yards and 1 touchdown. And Blake Corum caught 2 balls for 35 yards and 1 touchdown. Samaj Morgan lost one fumble. That was probably the punt return. So I feel like he lost another one, but there was so much that happened in the game. I might be thinking of something else. So sacks, 1, 2. Michael Barrett sacked Jalen Milroe, Josiah Stewart. I'm in an Airbnb, so I'm kind of whispering a little bit. It's a guest suite, and there's a door right there. Josiah Stewart sacked Jalen Milroe once. Braden McGregor sacked him twice. Chris Jenkins sacked him once. Derek Moore sacked Jalen Milroe once. So they were getting back there. So our defense had 6 total sacks. Let's see. James Turner was perfect on the extra points that he kicked. There was the one fumbled snap by the placeholder. He missed one field goal that was huge. And Tommy Domin kicked the ball 6 times for 237 yards. I'm going to go over the team statistics, then I'll wrap this up. Yeah, so Alabama had 17 first downs, Michigan had 15. Alabama was 3 for 13 in terms of third down efficiency. Michigan was 2 for 11. Alabama was 0 for 1 on fourth down efficiency. Michigan was 2 for 2. Michigan generated 351 total yards. Alabama generated 288. Michigan generated 221 passing yards. Alabama generated 116. Michigan had an average of 8.2 yards per pass. Bama had 5. Michigan generated 130 rushing yards. Bama generated 172. They both averaged 4 yards per rush. Michigan had 2 penalties for 25 yards. That Max Bredesen one was huge. And Bama had 3 penalties for 15 yards. Both teams had 1 turnover. Both teams had 1 fumble lost. Bama, once again, as they did most of the season, they won the time of possession 32 minutes and 19 seconds. That's how long they held the ball. Michigan held the ball for 27 minutes and 41 seconds. All right. So that's that. I might do another stream afterwards, but this one, yeah, it's late. Let me take a look at the final. That was the ESPN ad playing. Let me take a look at the Sugar Bowl 2024 Sugar Bowl score. Yeah, so Washington just defeated Texas 37-31. So the national championship game will be the Michigan Wolverines versus the Washington Huskies in Houston. And I think that, yeah, the defense is going to be huge once again. And Jesse Minter is going to have to diagram up something to get pressure on Michael Penix Jr. or to flood the passing lanes somehow to upset his timing, because tonight he looked razor sharp against Texas. All right, everyone. It is on the East Coast. It's 1:38. Here in the Mountain Time Zone, that means it's 11:38. So I'm going to wrap this up. Please like, share, and subscribe. Shout out to Bo Lytle. Respect is earned. Yeah, I think I'll wrap this up here. Good win, Wolverines. It was scary. I'm still a little shell shocked, and I'm still a little in disbelief that they pulled the game out. I'm thankful that they did. I did not experience the 1997 shared national title with Nebraska. And as I was telling my cousin tonight, I watched the program at a high level and then descend, and then I watched I've watched the program come back. So to see a national title would be huge. Of course, people are going to question it. Someone left on my wall under my post game uh, jab at Bama fan. Someone wrote cheaters. So I think people are still going to do that even after all the dust has settled. But there was certainly no cheating that went into this game of any kind, nor the Iowa game, nor the Ohio State game, or the Maryland game, or the Penn State game. So um, yeah, there we are. So everyone, let's see. Raheem Gaines says an all Big Ten national championship game. Yeah, that's right, because Washington is coming to the Big Ten next year. So we will be seeing a lot more of Washington. Hopefully not Michael Penix Jr., but we will be seeing a lot more of Washington. All right, everyone, I'm going to wrap this up. Please smash that like button if you haven't. Please smash that like button if you're watching on the playback. And if you're new, please consider subscribing to the channel. That would help me out quite a bit. Hey, survive in advance. Survive in advance. Win or go home. There's one more college football game. It's going to be next Monday night. Michigan and Washington. All right, everyone, have a good night. Soak this one up, enjoy it. There's one more game left. So go blue. And as always, remember that your attitude determines your altitude. Always try to do your best. Take care, and I will talk to you next time. Good win, Coach Harbaugh. Good win, Wolverines. Who's got it better than us? It's great to be a Michigan Wolverine. Take care. Bye-bye.